Hey guys, how's it going? Rich here with a quick video today on getting ready for winter. So, first things first, let's get you together an emergency bag. What this is going to be for is if your car breaks down during the winter. So, what you should have in there is, if you want, you should have some channel locks. They're always good because they can grab onto pretty much anything and turn it. This is good for if you find a loose bolt or anything you can use to quickly tighten it to get to the next service station. It's always good, of course, to have a good multi-bit screwdriver. Here's some needle nose for getting into tight places, and of course you have your tape. Tape is good for that way if you find a wire that's been spliced or something or cut, you can quickly try and splice it with the needle nose, tie the wires together, and then just put a bead of tape around it and you should be good. Of course, not everyone's going to want to do that to their car. It's just a really good thing to have for some of you who can quickly, make quick fixes until you get to a service station, because towing fees can be quite expensive. So, then here we have your window scraper, another style window scraper, and here we have another compressor. Now, what this compressor is for is, if your tires get low, you notice your tire pressure's down, near the buddies, you can quickly fill up your tire pressure. And, of course, if you look, there's also a light built into it. I personally don't use it. I have a big 32 LED flashlight. I use that. So, our next thing that I'm going to go into is some additional things I'd probably recommend. That would be an emergency blanket to keep warm, so that way if you're stuck in your car for 3 hours, because towing fees can be quite long or expensive and the time lengths can be quite long, you're going to want an emergency blanket. Next is a road flare kit, so people can actually see that you're there. Now, going into this, do not do any work on your car if your car breaks down on a hill, or if you're on a blind corner, because as you know, I'm sure ice and winter and snow, it's not a good deal to be working around a corner where someone can't see you, because they'll slide, probably do just the same thing that you've done. Now, the other thing is make sure your emergency jack is all good, and make sure that you go in here and, well, if you have a Mazda 3, your spare tires in here, make sure that's topped up. If you have any other car, it might be strapped to the bottom, or if you have a Jeep, it's strapped to the back. So, it's always good to make sure that's up and full of pressure. Now, our next thing I'm going to go into is most cars now. Oh, also for your emergency bag, what you're going to want, if you can, is you're going to laugh at this, but a tow rope, or if you want, you can get a manual winch. The reason why is that way if you get stuck in an area, you can winch your car out. Now, people are like, winch your car out? I don't have really any point doing that. Well, with most newer vehicles and some older ones, if you look here, under your car, you have a tow point. This is good for if you slide into a ditch or just slide into a big bunch of snow. You can strap it on this and strap it on another thing and winch your car out. Now, once again, this is for someone who just wants to go overboard. You don't really need to do that. It's just good to have also, because if you get stuck somewhere, you can put the tow rope around there, and if someone drives by with a truck, they can pull you out. Give him some beer money and he's happy. Alright, so next thing I'm going to go over is 2 fluids I would really suggest not having with you, but to use. I'll go over them. This, of course, is washer fluid. This is what you should be using now in your car for the winter time, because as you can see here, negative 35 degrees Celsius. It's very good to have this inside your windshield washer. I'm not telling you to siphon out your old stuff. Most of the time you can just pour this in with the existing amount, as long as you haven't topped up recently. And then this will just mix in with there, because it has antifreeze in there, and it'll not allow the windshield washer fluid to freeze to the windshield. Our next thing, of course, is polish. Now, the reason why you're probably wondering, why am I saying polish? Because you want to polish your rims and polish your car if you want. This will help you keep the finish during the winter. There's road salts and other shit that's on the roads. You don't want that digging into your paint and rusting. So, and with your rims, usually what most people do, and I say smart people, is you pull off your rims and you put on some Steelies, and you have some winter rated tires, or just winter tires altogether. Now, before I go into that, first we'll go into have a friend stand behind your car and do a light check. You want to make sure that all your lights are working. That way, you know, people know what you're doing in the winter, because it's not like summer. They can't just slam their brakes if you quickly do something stupid, or if they can't see what you're actually doing, which is what your signals do. It tells the other driver what you're doing. So it's very important to make sure all your signals are working, so that way somebody doesn't have to try and slam their brakes and 90% chance end up in the ass end of your car. So, once again, going into tires. When you're looking for tires, make sure you read lots of reviews on them. Google the tires you're searching and find out as much as you can about them. Now, here's the crazy thing with us in BC. If you have a all-season tire, but it is not winter rated, and you get in a car accident, the accident is usually 50-50. In some extreme chances it isn't, but you have to really prove it. I've seen it where some guys have actually had winter rated or not winter rated tires, and they were slowing down, but the guy behind them didn't slow down and smashed into the back of them, and so they actually nailed the guy with all seasons 50-50 because he didn't have that logo, and the lawyer brought it up. So just one thing for you guys to think about for in the winter. I have nothing against all seasons. I personally run them. The best thing to be looking for is water seeps, which look like zigzags across your tire. And what they basically do is, that's where if you're driving on anything liquid like snow or rain, it allows you to seep the water out to reduce hydroplaning and the rest of that. So just something for you for there. Our next thing that I'll go into is under the hood. Now, under the hood, what you should have is, of course, like I said, you should have your windshield washer fluid. Your next thing is a block heater if you're somewhere very, very cold. You want to make sure that you have a block heater so you can plug it in at night so it doesn't freeze. Another thing under the hood is make sure your antifreeze is topped up. And yeah, just go through your fluids, make sure everything's topped up and stuff like that. Now, the next thing I'm going to go over is, most of us hate when our windows fog up during the winter. You know, you have a couple buddies in your car, and no, you're not smoking a joint, but you're just really, really cold, and it looks like you've hotboxed your car because all your windows are all fogged up. What I suggest you do is you should grab a microfiber cloth and some Rain-X, and you should just buff your windows with Rain-X. What it does is it gets rid of the fog, and it makes it a lot easier. I find that your wipers even move smoother over it, so it makes your wipers move a lot better. But yeah, Rain-X is a great investment. I would just, like I said, make sure you're doing this on the outside of your windshield. Don't do it on the inside. It's not like a paintball mask or a ski mask or something. You want to make sure you're doing this on the outside of the windshield. Otherwise, the oils from it will actually give you spirals on the inside of the window. Just a warning. And yeah, you can do that to this window and that window, and just, you know, make sure all your windows are done. So, once again, these are my recommendations for you. If you have any questions at all, feel free to post in the comment section below. I'll be happy to help you out. And other than that, if you could like and subscribe, that'd be awesome. Thanks again, and have a great day.